Actually, quite a number of issues raised by Edward. I'm sure some of you may want to question him later, especially on the part about having a perhaps a united school system. I think that's quite interesting coming from the party which Edward comes from. So I'll pass it now to Dato Lee Hwa Beng. He'll have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Kian Ming. I think looking at the crowd in front of us, it should be very shameful compared to what is in America. So maybe today is Easter Day, and not yet Easter Day in America. Anyway, I think I was introduced by Kian Ming to be a MCA from MCA. So you all know, some of you know my background, but maybe a young crowd here. So I went up as high as the elected central committee member of MCA and 3-term state assemblyman for Subang Jaya before I went for parliament and lost. I didn't lose Hanayu anyway. But today I want to come as an individual. So I want to represent MCA. But if anybody asks any question, I'd like to share my experience in MCA in PN nearly throughout my political career in Malaysia. I think I also like the selection of the Rukun Negara as the theme of this discussion because I belong to the old era. So where I remember Rukun Negara was launched when I was quite 20 plus, and it was a big thing, but we all forgot about it. Maybe that accounts for the reason why the current state of politics are in, where there are so much racial strife, so much racial diversity, and language and cultural. So then we ask how did it come about? So I like to give my views that how come Malaysia is there today compared to my time, my parents' time. So I think I'd like to contribute from the political angle. Basically, there are two types of political activities when we get involved as a politician or get involved in politics. One is to survive in your own party. The other one to get votes from the public. So, and in Malaysia, maybe to TTR to a certain extent, but all the other parties are racial based or religious based. I can argue with you until the cows come home. So, because it's racial or religious based, they have to survive in their primary election. If they don't survive in their party, they cannot be a candidate. Because that they have to win in their own respective party at branch level, division level, or state level, and get noticed by the president of the party. And the president of the party will notice you when you are popular, you get harness a lot of votes within your party, and you have to be religious inclined or racial inclined to the party you represent. There are so many examples because this is a very subconscious or maybe mostly unintentional, and I'm a party to it. Like for me, I came for MCA. I will talk about Chinese. They talk about that's about Malay, that's about Indian. I think I'll be voted out in MCA. Same, UMNO also. Same with DAP. DAP can say they're multiracial party, but we know where their base come from. So all these things happen. So subconsciously and unintentionally, mostly or some intentionally, we create this racial and religious disunity, and because it moves so slowly, we don't realize it, and that accounts for what we are facing today. I can give you so many examples. Actually, you can see the trend of up and coming politician, or down and out like me. So, down out you want publicity. So the only way to get publicity in Malaysia, is to talk about all this racial thing or religious thing. So up and coming, there are so many examples. Like for example, when I think Mahathir, the Malay dilemma, was so pro Malay thing, but become prime minister, it changed. Musa Hitam, you thought he's a very, very mild guy, but he was known as an ultra and UMNO when he was up and coming. Even UMNO ago, he was anti-Chinese education when he was education minister in BN. Then even Ling Keng, I'm talking about old time, my time. Ling Keng, he started the Malaysian. He was in MCA then. He started the Malaysian Chinese Unity movement because he wanted to get votes in MCA. He was trying to topple Tun Tan Siew Sin. So he wanted to get the Chinese votes. Because MCA been Chinese based, so he must seem to be a Chinese leader. Think of Sami Velu. Of course, now we don't see him as a racist, but when he was the ordinary MP, I remember very well. MP, that time Tan Sri Manikawasan was the president of MNC. He was known as the ultra in MNC. In the state assembly and everywhere, he will talk so much about Hinduism, talk about so much about Tamil thing. Right? So, and then out and down and out, you know lah, this Ibrahim Ali, Hassan Ali. Ibrahim Ali, if you know him, he was up as high as the Japanese minister, no, when he was UMNO. He was well known to be a racist. But why is he a racist now? Because he want to get attention. Same Hassan Ali, of course, when he was ESCO member in past in Selangor, he was still known to be very pro-Malay, pro-Islam now. But then when he come out, he come home. Why? Get attention. Otherwise, the thing won't appear in the paper, don't appear in the internet, don't appear in Malaysian Kenya, Malaysian Cyber. So because of this, so we have subconsciously create this environment. And what should we do? What should we do? So that's why I like the topic marker kami. Marker kami means hands we. So actually it's in our hands. We all politicians have failed, I tell you. Right? Have to fail. We all 50 years we achieve our independence. Right? Are we improving on our this racial strife, racial unity, cultural disunity, and language problem? We have failed. As a long timer and now down and out, I say we have failed. So now the power lies in you all, and we are fortunate election coming. I'm not saying you must vote Pakatan, or but basically you choose. First thing you must be registered voter, which I was told a couple of million are not registered voter yet. So you must choose anyone who actually anyone talk about racial politics, vote them out. Irrespective of which party, must be brave. Of course, sometimes you say, "Oh, I'm a Malay." The guy talk about Malay, very pro-Malay. But how can I vote for somebody from PKR, maybe a Chinese fellow or Indian fellow? Cannot. But you must dare, because the future belongs to you. I'm 58 years old. I may live 10, 20 more years and out. But the future belongs to you. So you have to dare to vote. Dare to be different. So, because marker kami, that means we have failed. Politicians have failed. Political parties have failed. So now in your hand. So if you know that you all will vote out any ultras in terms of race, religion, culture, or language, then I will fear. No, I won't dare to be talk so much about my being pro-Malay, pro-Chinese, pro-Indian, or pro-whatever religion. So I know that I go to general election, I may win the primary election at my party level. I go general election, I'll be out. Then I will be very cautious in my statement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Robin, for giving us an insider's view. And I think it will be interesting to see whether his hope that if, let's say, Malaysia does democratize more, whether there will be less or more politicians who want to appeal to strangers on all sides. So let me pass the time now to Nik, and then he'll have 5 minutes.
30 seconds.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, my fellow distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen. The topic today, this morning, is Mencapai perpaduan dan memelihara demokrasi. I think I just would like to talk a bit about my personal journey as a politician. I'm happy that Datuk Lee Hwa Beng acknowledged that keadilan is one of the more multiracial parties in the country. Personally for me, that was the attraction. I remember that when I was growing up, during Reformasi and all that, what attracted me to the movement was the fact that it was a multiracial political movement, which was so lacking in the country for so long. Being born, I was born in 82, so I was what you call a Generation M. I was born during Dr. Mahathir's time. Grew up with the talk of wawasan and all that. So we had that dream of Malaysia, but when everything came crashing down in 97, and then the Reformasi movement came about in 98, we were looking at where Malaysia was going. And I certainly didn't think that the old mode of politics, of race-based politics, was the way forward. If you look in the past, many people, I don't know whether the younger generation realize this, that the first political movement, AMCJA Putra, multiracial political movement in the country was actually not even, it was multiracial, and it was not UMNO and MCA that started the multiracial political movement. So I was looking for all these alternatives, and that's what led me to keadilan in the first place. But at that time, it seemed very lonely. Keadilan was seen as a very small party. It was seen as only fighting for Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim's release. And especially in 2004, when we were left with only one seat. But what was encouraging to me was when in 2005, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim talked about dismantling the new economic policy. And this was seen as revolutionary because the NEP. Alright, okay. So the dismantling the NEP is seen as revolutionary because you have a policy which was seen as benefiting the Malays, the majority of the voters, and we are as a political party trying to get the majority of the votes, talking about dismantling the policy. But we felt that it was the right way to go. For so long, the country has been led along this path, thinking that we have to only accept this path of accepting the NEP, and that there's no other choice. So, but what was important was that when we took up this policy, is that the party as a whole adopted it, and when the party leaders went down to the grassroots to explain it to the masses. It wasn't just PR, it wasn't just branding, partly because we don't have the mainstream media anyway. So what we had to go and what we had to do is basically to go down to the ground and explain to the kampungs that this is the right thing to do. And politicians always have this sense that Malaysians are not ready. I agree with Datuk Lee Hwa Beng. I read somewhere that Tun Musa Hitam once wrote that a Malay politician, even if he does not have a chauvinist bone in his body, has to play the chauvinist card in order to rise in politics. That was the old way of doing politics. But I think that people are more ready, even in the kampungs and all that, if you have the courage of conviction to explain that being unjust to a fellow human being, even if they are of a different race, even if they are of a different religion, is against the tenets of Islam, against the tenets of any religion, then people can subscribe to that. But unfortunately, for so long in Malaysia, we do not have the leaders that have that courage of conviction. So I think 2008 vindicated us. The result of it, of the elections. I remember meeting Edward at that time. Both of us, very young, and we were contesting next to each other. Hanayo in Subanjaya, me in Sri Setia, and we never dreamt of winning. I never thought that people would vote us on a policy that talks of multiracialism, talks of moving forward and all that. But people did. And of course, since 2008, we have seen that enormous explosion of political interest. And I think that, as we go back to the topic today, which is derived from the Rukun Negara, it's remarkable that how the country has moved on. From 1969, that was the last time that the ruling Alliance Party lost the 2/3 majority. And we could see at that time there was so much trouble that there was no real multiracial coalition and all that. But this time around, in 2008, things were entirely different. Immediately after that, PAS, Keadilan and DAP formed Pakatan Rakyat. Things were rather smooth, and you could see the maturing two-party system. We have the Buku Jingle from Pakatan and all that, which I think is healthy. And just before, and I think before I end, I would like to emphasize, how important it is in Keadilan, for example, that I cannot play the race card anymore.